Hey everyone, welcome to Five for Friday, where every week I interview someone that I love to work with. This week we have Sara Edelman from Loan Depot, and especially in this climate with interest rates going up, going down, left and right, Sara is a fantastic resource. She's been in the business for over 20 years. I know her personally for over 8, and if you have any questions, you know where to find us. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you all soon. Thanks. Hi everyone, how's it going? We have here my great friend Sara Edelman from Loan Depot. A lot of you don't know this. Sara was my first coach. She did a training in the first brokerage that I've been in on social media. So I owe her everything up until this point, communicating to you guys through social media. And we're just going to talk. We're going to ask a few questions about her life, things that I want to know because we haven't caught up in a while. And Sara, thank you so much for coming. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thank God. It's great to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's such a pleasure. So I've always wanted to ask you these questions, and we haven't connected for a long time. But I always wanted to know, how did you get started in mortgages, in the mortgage industry?
Well, it's been just about 22 years.
Wow.
And,
oh my God, you look 22 to me. So
You're the best.
Yeah.
There's a reason I like you.
I didn't know. Amazing.
I have 3 uncles actually in the industry.
Wow.
Yeah, so when I got out of school, I started working for one of them.
Okay.
Trying to figure out what I wanted to do. So I started in a secretarial position. I started doing a little processing for him. And then very quickly I realized that I love sales. And this is a great space for me.
Wow.
So it's been almost 22 years, and I'm still loving it.
Well, you're an incredible people person because you can see that you genuinely care about people. I felt that the first time I met you, so I really appreciate that. So then your uncles, do you consider them your mentors, your coaches in the industry? Or, you're here 22 years, so at this point, you're the mentor and the coach that I'm sure a lot of people rely on, but what was the effect that they had on your life, on your business?
I love the fact that I can openly see how they help people, how they change people's lives. And it was very inspiring for me. I always wanted to do something that would make a difference in people's lives. And I felt that this was really something that can do that. And I see that on a constant basis, the thrill of being at a closing and being able to get that person to that step to make that big life-changing decision to purchase something is a tremendous thing, and it still gives me a huge thrill.
Yeah, and it's not an easy road. It's a very difficult road, but it's so worthwhile. It changes families forever, for generations. Wow. So you're in the business 22 years. What do you do in your role today? Like after 22 years, do you, at Loan Depot, do you work with a team? Do you still work? I don't know. I only know you. I don't know your team. How do you work today? How do you help people?
Well, I have an amazing manager. My manager is Steve Tandy. He's fantastic. He's been a great resource for me in terms of just helping me with so much. I have a great office. My colleagues are amazing. I do work solely. So it's basically me.
So you give white glove service. You're not, in this business, and we always talk about scaling, but sometimes when you scale, you lose that level of service that people rely on. So
that's really important to me.
Yeah, I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah. So I'm basically there from beginning to end. I do have my assistant and my processors and underwriters that work with me. But I generally am there from the beginning of the pre-approval, when they're looking for a home, to the closing.
Amazing. Yeah. So they they're having an expert with them the whole way through.
It's important. One of the things that I specialize in is working with first-time home buyers. And for me, it's like going into a car shop where I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
And most first-time home buyers don't know what they're doing because it's a new experience for them. So for me, it's very important for them to understand exactly what they're doing every step of the way, for them to know that there's someone there to answer their questions when they have questions, and for them to get to that closing table and confidently sign those papers.
Can you tell me something, and this is something that comes from first-time home buyers that I've worked with multiple times. They all feel like there's only one type of mortgage out there. They feel like they can get the same mortgage from anyone that they talk to. Can you just give me a rundown of all the possibilities, all the choices that are open to first-time home buyers?
Yep. Well, the first thing is that I truly believe that almost everyone can get a mortgage.
Amazing,
so,
yeah.
There's a way, whether it's you need a non-occupant cosigner or whether you have to put down a little bit more of a down payment. There's always, or many times, there's always ways to be able to get that. That being said, most people do want to get the best possible mortgage, which is really a conventional deal, right?
Yeah.
If someone has good income, good assets, good credit, they're going to go the conventional route because they want to get the best possible rates, right? So even though, yes, you do have FHA programs, which are also geared towards first-time home buyers, you're not going to necessarily put something into that program because, for example, there's very high PMI, private mortgage insurance. So although that's an alternate program, it's not ideal for someone that can fit into a conventional program. So yes, most banks will offer the conventional programs to begin with if the borrower can fit within that box, so to speak.
20% down.
Well, actually, conventional programs are as little as 5% down.
So you're saying, because this is, it's not news to me, but a lot of people think that they need 20% down to get a conventional loan.
I get that from a lot of people.
Yeah.
And
That's
that's what holds people back.
Yeah.
People think they need a lot of assets to get in, but on a one family home, for example, they can put down as little as 5%.
Right.
And then if they would get a seller's credit, they can get in there with as little as 5%.
Now, without getting into it, I would love to do a webinar with you in the future because there are all these other things, right? Points and fees and rates, and we can figure out how to get like the best mortgage at the best rate with the lowest, with point buy downs that allow people, especially going into a year where interest rates are going up, but there are still things that we can do that people don't know about.
Absolutely.
That really can get them into a home now before interest rates go up even further, right? So, all right, without getting into all that nitty-gritty, that's going to be another episode. Along the way, it couldn't have been easy. Working in the mortgage industry, we have these ups and downs, right? Were there any, besides your uncles, do you attribute your success to any habits or books or mentors, or let's say someone wants to get into the business, whether it's in real estate or in lending, what books or coaches could you recommend them today?
Well, the first thing, number one, what I attribute to my success to is God. I without a doubt, I truly believe that there's a higher power and that we don't control anything.
Yeah.
That being said, I work very hard.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things people need to know when they go into sales. You need to work very hard to get there.
And let me add to that because there's always going to be uncertainty in life for everyone. I talk about this all the time, and especially in commission-based businesses and sales businesses, the every day is uncertain. But if you have a higher belief that everything is going to work out, that there is a master plan, and you trust in that, it gets you through those uncertain moments, and it makes you, number one, feel calmer, be a rock and a stable friend for all your clients, and they'll look to you for certainty. So it's very important to have that belief.
I couldn't have said that better, 100%.
I think about it every day because I go through the ups and downs as well. Where our businesses are so tied to each other that I always look to you guys for inspiration, and I always think about that as well. So now that we're grounded in a belief that no matter what, things will work out, right? And we've, read our books, we've read every detail, we've helped, in my business, you would say that through all my connections, I've probably touched, 1,000 people, a few thousand people. My direct hands, of course, are in the hundreds, but 22 years in the business. Do you have a client count? Do you know how many people you've helped? I'm a numbers guy. I'm always impressed by numbers, and 22 years is a long time to be in this business.
It is, and I can tell you there's been ups and there's been downs.
Yeah.
And highs and lows, and no, I don't have a number for you over 22 years, although I should have that number, and now I'm going to go home and count.
Yeah.
But last year I helped just under 200 families.
Amazing in 1 year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
In 1 year.
There's 200 work days in a year.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
So that was very exciting. It was very exciting.
Wow.
As someone that there's a Yiddish saying that goes, "A schuster geht barfuß," a shoemaker goes barefoot.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I personally had wanted to purchase a home. I had purchased a second home many years ago, a vacation home, but I had never purchased my primary residence. And my husband and I, I'm married 19 years now, and my husband and I were, we just kept saving and saving. And I'm in the business. I know you can put a small down payment down, but we kept saving and trying to figure out what we wanted to do and we wanted to be. And we finally purchased something. We purchased something just over a year ago.
God bless, the perfect time.
Yes,
wow.
It really was.
Every time is the perfect time, guys. But still, that's incredible. That's incredible because you know the market for 22 years.
Yeah.
Interest rates were never ever that low in our lifetime, and still they are below the average. Yeah. This is today it's still more affordable to purchase something today than it was in the 80s.
My parents purchased their home then, and they were at 18%.
18%. Oh man, I would have definitely needed an arm by then.
But I'm proud to say that now they're in the 2% range.
It's incredible.
Because it's cyclical. It will come around, and that's why I think it's the best time to buy.
Yeah. And guys, if you are a good shoemaker, everyone is going to come and knock on your door for shoes. You won't have time to make your own.
Right?
But yes, that's a sign of success.
Well, it was really an amazing feeling. And I think because I've been wanting to purchase my home for so long, it allowed me to connect with my clients also purchasing their first home.
Of course, yes.
And I think that it gave me more of an appreciation for people going through that and wanting to get to that next stage.
Of course, everyone. I would wish a safe, secure home for everyone in this world, if possible. So with that said, 22 years you've had to help thousands and thousands of people along the way. 200 only in the last year. Is there a tool or a habit that you rely on constantly for your success? I mean, there are organizational people, there are people that paint big pictures, big visions, and they have their habits in order to strive for their success. What would you say is your tool or habit that has gotten you here today?
I try to learn from every single loan. I try to learn from every successful person in the industry. Because everyone has a secret to their success, right? There's a secret sauce somewhere. And there are so many people that are willing to share.
Yeah.
People are good. And so I definitely would say that I try to listen as much as I can. I try to be as open as I can. And I'm constantly trying to improve and, be a better source of information and an asset to my clients.
And it shows. I mean, you're here today. I haven't, me and Sara talk through social media a lot and through the phone, but we haven't seen each other in 4 or 5 years, and you're here today. Yeah, so it shows that you have a genuine interest in people, and you always reach out. I wish that I had your memory because I know how you remember things. Do you, along with learning from everyone, do you take notes? Do you save those tidbits? How do you capture all those learnings, all those teachings? You just memorize them? You just put them into heart?
Yes.
Amazing.
Honestly, yes.
And she'll remember your birthday too, guys. So it's amazing.
Right.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. Guys, I need notes, but everyone has their blessings. So now you are an amazing personal wonderful person that reaches out to people and remembers them. If you had to impart any piece of advice that you've learned along the way from the people that you've worked with, what would you impart to our audience today, our friends, our family, in your experience? And I know it's a tough question, but like just the first thing that comes to mind.
It's actually an easy question because be genuine, be real,
Yeah.
be honest, and I think that's what people relate to. I'm not going to get every deal, and many times I'll tell someone, it's not for you.
Yeah.
But
The golden rule. The golden rule.
Yeah.
Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Exactly.
And they'll see that and they'll resonate. And if they don't, then they'll work with someone else, and that's okay too.
Absolutely.
Wow,
Absolutely.
it's a pleasure having you. We're on the same wavelength. I'm so happy that you came today. And guys, if anything speaks to you from our interview with Sara, please reach out. I'll put her info in the show notes. And Sara, always a pleasure to have you. Thank you again for coming.
Me.
Guys, happy Friday, happy weekend, and talk to you soon. Bye.